Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be discussing the Minnesota Timberwolves off-season. Yes, we're recapping everything they've done from the draft, free agency, who left, who came. Pause. But I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. What you guys thinking? Was it worth it? Now, Tim Conley stayed. Alex Rodriguez and Marc bought the team on layaway, but 100% of it now, or whatever the amount. Glenn Taylor's out. Just know that. The old man hasn't croaked, but they got him out. So, for a team that, they made a trade before the start of the season, got rid of Karl-Anthony Towns. They went to the same place they were with him. So, to me, this is a team going into year two that when they went to year two of Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, they were even better. So, you could only imagine that this team is going to get better. By the way, Bones Hyland is going to be supposedly the final signing that they make. Tim Conley's pet project, the man that he loves, the son from another mother. I'm making jokes. Either way, let's just get right into this and hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoy this type of content, if you want to see more as I choke over my words. So they brought in Johan Beringer from France, but he played in Slovenia for Civita. And then Rocco Zerkarski is going to be on a two-way, the Brisbane Bullets. Developmental player through the NBL Rising Star, who was supposed to be a first-round pick, 7'3" monster. Ended up falling into the second round. They bring in two bigs. Jesse Edwards has actually been waived, and they brought in Enrique Freeman on a two-way. Jesse Edwards actually went to Melbourne United, but they brought in potentially Johan Beringer, the replacement for Rudy Gobert, and maybe his backup long-term. And that allowed them to have someone who's going to be mentored or at least able to study Rudy Gobert up close, speaks the same language, and an insurance policy, and a pretty good young guy, as he has like a 7-foot wingspan on a 7-foot frame, athletic as all hell, and is coming from playing professional basketball. So same thing with Zerkarski. The current team, if we want to throw Bones Hyland as a point guard, combo guard, he can be put here. Tristan Newton on a two-way, but Mike Conley and Rob Dillingham. They're really banking on Rob Dillingham, or Bones Hyland, picking up the slack behind old man veteran Mike Conley. Who Mike Conley, I know his dad, one of the greatest Olympians in U.S. history, has been able, I wouldn't say defy father time, but, keep father time at least elbow distance. He started the year off rough last year, but over the course of the season, he got better. And having Dillingham and Bones Hyland and Newton, they have some affordable developmental options that could work, or that maybe they could use their salaries to trade for someone. Corey Joseph's still sitting in free agency if they need. Now, Joe Ingles, I was surprised that he came back. I thought he was going to retire and hang out with his kids. But the Aussie, Jingling Joe Ingles, he's going to back up with Bones Hyland as well, who's kind of a combo guard with point guard like skills. Dante DiVincenzo, who's their small ball 3, their backup 1 at times, and their 2. And Anthony Edwards, a man who at times looks like he could be an MVP candidate. And does he become that this year? Now, Edwards is the team's primary scoring option and MVP. So Dante DiVincenzo being there adds some defensive versatility as well. And Ingles just brings experience and shooting if they need him. Jaden McDaniels, an all-defensive depoy caliber player who can guard any position, maybe except some fives. Terrence Shannon, who has shot over 20,000 or made over 20,000 threes this summer, looked amazing in Summer League, played well in the playoffs. Jalen Clark looks like he's going to be a two-way dog for them who can play in transition and be a good off-ball player. And Johnny Juzang is on a two-way, or my apology, on an Exhibit 10, which we've mentioned before. If he doesn't make the team, he's put on the G League affiliate and will get a $50,000 bonus if he stays on the roster for 60 days. He's a scoring option who can play the 2 or the 3. McDaniels with Shannon and Clark being the backup is really solid. Just a bunch of two-way players there that can shoot well. And then Johnny Juzang gives them a guy who has some upside as a microwave if they need. Then Julius Randle and Naz Reid, obviously, 2 guys who got paid. They were crucial, especially Reid, over the last 2 years for the Western Conference Finals. But Julius Randle, just the other best scorer on this team at times. And then Leonard Miller's really looked well at this point. 6'10" combo forward who can he finally put together. They got rid of Josh Minot or let Josh Minot walk. Kept Leonard Miller, so I think they have faith there. And we mentioned it earlier, Enrique Freeman, Sikorsky both on two ways. Freeman's 6'7" with like a 7'3" wingspan. He looked dominant in the summer league this year, shooting over 70%. Weird that he wasn't kept by the Pacers, but I already knew they weren't going to keep him. So they luck out here, get a player that's just one of the better rebounders and a really good motor and hustler. So I think they just have a lot of developmental projects there. And as you guys see, they have a bunch of salaries, just allowing them, if they needed to make a trade, or if they to get someone better, or to maybe break up some of those salaries, like a Julius Randle or a Rudy Gobert down the road, into multiple players if they wanted to. This is a team that their total payrolls at $200 million over it, and the luxury tax line at $187.9 million means they're $12.4 million almost over. They'll have a luxury tax payment of $16.3 million, and that's pushing them over the apron by $6 million. So this is going to be a team operating in the second apron territory. They're going to probably have to make a trade to cut like salary, and I think that was evident if you saw all the numbers that they had right here. Could that be a DiVincenzo or Conley? I think it would. Man, I think in a dream scenario, they would trade Randle and promote Reid and trade Randle for, I don't know who you're trading him for. Like, for example, because you would have loved the Cam Johnson. So you're looking around the league, who wants a power forward like that? Do you find somebody on the, like, I'm thinking maybe a Jordan Poole or something like that. I don't know. It's really tough. But they do have the taxpayer mid-level exception, the MLE of 5.7 mil, almost 5.69 million, which expires on the 12th of April, 2026. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Karl-Anthony Towns both have trade exceptions, one being 7.5 million, the other being 4.6. So they have some exceptions and abilities to do some salary cap gymnastics that allow them to have flexibility to make a trade if needed. Now, re-signing Julius Randle and Reid, that's a lot of money they committed. I think Joan Beringer and Rocco Zikarsky show that Rudy Gobert's time here is probably in the next 2 to 3 years at most coming to a close in that window. They tried to get Kevin Durant, but they couldn't. They lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but they were able to do it in a trade that like created an exception. They're betting on the development of Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon, Jalen Clark, Leonard Miller, and all the other guys. So yes, they focused on continuity, which they've done the last couple of years. They have a strong core. They're developing talent and hoping that Chris Finch, who's a great coach, is going to navigate them through a competitive Western Conference back to the Western Conference Finals and hopefully to the NBA Finals. So keeping Randle, Reid, Gobert, and Edwards is huge. Betting on Beringer, Shannon, Dillingham, Clark is a little risky, and they're operating as an over-the-apron team that seems to be willing to pay the luxury tax for the continuity, or going to be making a trade if Bloomberg doesn't want to help out Marc and Alex Rodriguez as the third owner here to pay that luxury tax bill. So maybe they get another credit card and they pay it. The Wolves will aim to be a contender, and I think banking on Anthony Edwards playing at an MVP level is another thing that they are going to have to hope. So what do you guys think? I think there's a lot of things that they're hoping, which seemingly they've been right about every time, but there's a lot of other teams that are hoping the same thing happens to them. If you made it to the end of this video, you guys definitely like this type of content, hit that like and subscribe button and go check out the rest of my content. Till next time, guys, peace out.